Girl, girls and guys, we have so much to talk about. Let me just start off with like how I've been doing in this coronavirus pandemic era. So I live in Los Angeles, and LA, California really was the first state to go under quarantine and issue a statewide stay at home order. And then New York soon followed, and then very slowly other states followed suit, if they even really followed. I feel like the only people who were actually on lockdown were New Yorkers and Californians. So, or I guess Chicago too. Shout out to Chicago. They were on lockdown as well. But yeah, so initially when it happened, I was upset because I literally had just had a meeting with my team for diversity and beauty, where we were mapping out and solidifying and really just getting ready to launch the programs, the events, the activities for the 2020 Diversity and Beauty Summit. And just this year, we were like preparing to dominate this year, and was super excited. My girls were all excited. And literally while we were at Sweet Chick on Fairfax, Sunday, March 15, I believe, we were receiving messages on our cell phones, or one of the girls at the table had received a message on her cell phone. Somebody, her cousin, you know, works for Homeland Security, and told her, listen, it's about to be a shutdown, so get ready. And sure enough, we were on lock. So at first, you know, I was angry because that was literally my livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made a decision to move forward with diversity and beauty, and I'll plug all that information in. Y'all probably like, what's she talking about? I'll tell you. You'll be in the comment section, and I'll tag all those things. But I had just come to the mindset that I was ready to, or I thought I was ready. It's another conversation about, you know, come to the mindset of deciding to move forward with doing anything with the diversity and beauty platform for 2020. Because initially what I had said, what I wrote in my journal, what my New Year's resolutions was for me to take 2020 off and travel and create content. Because your girl went through a burnout phase in 2018, which spiraled into depression, which spiraled into me having to see a psychiatrist about what was really going on. And so got an official diagnosis, and really needed to take it easy. And when I thought about what I've been doing at that time for the past 10 years, from 2018 to 2008, I hadn't taken a vacation. It was constantly me working, striving to get to whatever level of success or obtain whatever goal it was that I had set for myself. And aside from me not having all the things that I needed to even be able to achieve those things in a healthy way, and I'll get into that later, aside from me already having, you know, barriers to reaching these successes, I also didn't realize that I had a underlying ADHD disorder. So again, I'll get into all those things later. I'll make another video about mental health and how it's important, because I'm sure everybody's talking about it, but it's like more Black people who actually are seeing therapists, and more Black people who actually have been diagnosed and who are taking medication or, you know, doing the work. We need to be upfront about our stories. You know, it's cool to talk about it, but if you're not sharing that, hey, actually, I am a person that suffers from depression, and this is what I did, and this is who, this is how I found out, or whatever your process is. If you're not open about your journey, then people aren't gonna really take it seriously either. So anyway, I was tired. I went ahead and forged with, my life in 2019. And let me tell you too, the stress of living in Los Angeles or any big city, even definitely New York, San Francisco, places like that, is a constant hustle. It's a constant being on your toes. You really don't have an opportunity to rest. And you're making a lot of money. Hopefully you're making a lot of money, but the cost of living and the work that's required for you to even make this kind of money is so overwhelming, on top of the overwhelm of having to make sure you sustain this level of success or financial support in a city that is super expensive for absolutely no reason is exhausting. And when you live your life like that, if you're constantly on the go, and you never have a chance to break, or you feel like if you get sick, that it's going to throw your whole life out of whack, you develop, psychosis. You begin, it does something to you psychologically, and you're constantly in survival mode. And that is not a healthy way to be. To be constantly in survival mode means you never have an opportunity to really fully rest. And we as human beings are meant to thrive. We as Christians, or people who believe in God and read the Bible, know that we are meant to thrive. We're not supposed to be running from one thing to the next and being worried and stressed out that if I don't take the time that I need to get my mental health in check, or, go to the doctor, if I take off sick, if I got a cold, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It keeps you in this, I have to make this type of thing. And it just creates a whole really, really shitty mindset that will begin to catch up with you. And that's why you have a lot of people who make a lot of money, but then as soon as something happens, because they were depending on these systems, or this unrealistic way of life in order to uphold that, as soon as something falls apart, they're jumping off a bridge. You know what I'm saying? And not to make light of suicide, but I'm just saying that's the reality, is that when you are constantly in a state of always feeling like you never have enough, that creates burnout. If you're constantly in a state of I'm not enough, I'm not doing enough, I'm not making enough, I'm not enough, then nothing will ever be enough and you'll never rest. And that is just, and your reality will be right. You won't ever appreciate or believe that you have enough. So I was still in that mindset of survival mode. And when the pandemic happened, or when the shutdown happened, I was really upset for 2 days, okay? But then a conversation that I overheard one of my friends having with her sister on the phone, her sister was spitting mad wisdom, and it totally changed my perspective about what was really happening. And then I realized in that moment that what was happening, though it is terrible, though people have lost their lives, though people have lost their jobs, and though, everyone's system or their livelihood has been shaken up. And we all know that when things happen, especially when they happen so abruptly, you are reacting out of a sense of panic, right? So even though those things are very real, the things that she was saying put me into a different mindset and changed my whole, it shifted my whole perspective on what was really happening and how it was happening for me. So in January, I actually made the decision that I wasn't going to do diversity and beauty this year, and I put it on the Instagram page for diversity and beauty, which was met with a whole lot of people saying, no, you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. And it felt good to know that people were excited about it and they really wanted us to exist and do our thing. But I'm tired, you know what I'm saying? But instead of me saying or being firm in that decision to take the break and take the rest and do whatever I had to do to make sure I was a fully functioning, thriving entrepreneur, I went ahead and succumbed to people's, suggestions, and had written out this whole massive plan of events and how these things were going to happen for 2020. And we were going to kick it off in March, like literally March. So the fact that I had gone from knowing that I needed to take some time off to then, coming to the mindset of, okay, well, I guess I can still do this, and then getting excited about it, and then be hit with this pandemic where we can't do anything, where hosting an event is, completely out of the question, where traveling to these different cities to have a tour is completely out of the question. You know what I'm saying? Which is literally, I'm in the events-based business, so that just completely annihilated all of everything that my business was built on, right? At least I thought. I was upset again. I was angry. It's like, see, I was really upset. So the conversation that she and her sister were having, and the things that her sister was saying was, even though the government definitely could be doing more, definitely should have moved faster. We know that they lied to us about how long this virus has been here. The fact that they were making these moves to send us any money and, make it easy for businesses to apply for grants and get financial assistance. The fact that a lot of us have come into a windfall of money in a very short amount of time, even though we do deserve it, it is ours. And then we're being forced to sit home. And yes, we get so used to the hustle and bustle. We get so used to our survival mode tactics that we don't even know what to do. And again, where my mindset is now and where the majority of Americans' mindset is now is completely different from what it was in March when all this was going down. Everyone was freaking out. And some of us caught on, and I would say I'm fortunate to be one of the ones, I feel like, who caught on to what was really happening and the opportunity that this was creating for a lot of us because of that conversation that I overheard with my friend's sister. But the fact that, they were even giving, $600 on top of your regular unemployment, and some people was really making a lot more than what they were busting their asses to make at, quote unquote essential jobs or just any job. And knowing that you can get rental assistance, that they were pausing mortgage payments and freezing student loan payments and all these things, and they basically giving you free internet for 3 months and all this type of stuff, that now it seemed like everybody was being super generous and understanding of the plight of humans and seemed to care. That this was really serious, because this has never happened in our lifetime. Even when the economic crisis of 2008 happened, I got a stimulus of like $300. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't anything substantial, and it certainly wasn't no increase in unemployment. I was actually in college at that time anyway. So, and they didn't care. These mortgage companies were not giving people 90 days to do anything. They were just like, oh, all right, well, we care about us, and we're going to just take your home because we can't lose no money. And niggas was really like literally out here on the street, or lost their homes and lost their apartments. And there are people who are, even in this time, going to still experience that. But we never had an opportunity in my lifetime, and most of your lifetime either, whoever is watching this, where the government stepped in that manner to make us stay home and then give us what we needed. So I realized that I actually was being given the opportunity to rest. And that was good. That was something that I wrote down as one of my 2020 resolutions, was that I wanted to be home. I wanted to have an opportunity to take off and rest and travel and do something else and actually vacation. And I was given the opportunity to do that. And then the provision that I received from unemployment allowed me to actually travel and create the content. It actually gave me everything that I needed to do exactly what I wanted to do. So, yeah, my perspective now on the coronavirus is, I know that people are dying, and I also know that people really want to get back to, really want to be close to their friends and hang out again. It's really, I don't necessarily want to go to no club. I've never been a club person. I don't care about that. But I do want to get cute, you know what I'm saying? I do want to put on heels, and I do want to put on makeup, which I guess I could have put some on now, and, you know, go somewhere and enjoy that time. I do want to do fun things again, but the time that this pandemic or the quarantine has allowed me to really think about the life that I wanted to live moving forward and what I needed to cut out, what systems and processes that I needed to instill, and actually get serious and pinpoint in detail what it would require for me to operate at my highest self. I would not have had that time if things were continuing to go the way that they were prior to Corona. So now I'm here creating content for YouTube, you know, and I just want to share with y'all, you know, some of the insights.